I am V. Devender, lecturer in botany. Today we discuss about Xerosere. In the plant succession, various type of succession takes place in environment, like as a Xerosere and another is the Xerosere. The succession takes place in the xeric or dry habit like sand deserts, sand dunes, or rocks where moisture is present at minimal amount is known as xerosere. The xerosere is a plant succession that is limited by the water availability. It includes the different stages in xeric condition. Xerosere originate on bare rock surface is known as lithosere. The original substratum is deficient in water and lacks any organic matter, having only minerals in distinguished, unweathered states. The pioneers that colonized this primitive substratum are crustose type of lichens, and through the series of successive series stages, the succession finally terminates into the forest, which constitute the climax community. So the successive changes in xerosere takes place in both plants as well as animals. But changes in plants are more obvious to the extent that it looks as a succession of plant. The various stages are named on the base of the particular stage dominated by the particular plant species. In the xerosere, various stages and their component plant species appearing on rock. Those are like as a various type of stages like as a in serious stages of xerosere, especially in lithosere, is one crustose lichen stage and foliage lichen stage, moss stage, herb stage, shrub stage, and last one is the forest or climax stage. Total six stages. One is the crustose lichen stage, and another one is the foliage lichen stage. Third one is the moss stage. Fourth one is the herb stage. Fifth one is the shrub stage, and sixth one is the forest stage or climax stage. Total six stages. In this type of xerosere, a plant succession that is limited by the water availability. It includes different stages, like we see in like as a crustose, foliage, moss, herbs, and the climax stages. So first we see where the xerosere, the succession occurred like as a bare rocks. Generally, the bare rocks are produced when glaciers recede or this type. The erosion of these rocks is brought by rainwater and wind loaded with soil particles. So, on the bare rocks starts the plant succession in the xerosere. The first stage is called as crustose lichen stage. In this crustose lichen stage, this is the pioneer stage. The crustose lichens are the pioneer species that colonize on the bare rock. They are subjected with the extremes of temperature. The substratum is also very poor in moisture and organic matter. The common species of like as a crustone like of these stages are like Rhizocarpon, Rhinodina, and Lecanora. These type of various type of species are occupied the bare rocks and starts the succession. Due to this reason, this type of species are pioneers of the Xerosere. The spores, soridia, and propagules of these lichens are brought by air from the surrounding areas. They produce some acids which brings about weathering of rocks. The dead organic matter of lichens becomes mixed with the small particles of rocks. This process is very slow. The lichens are this type of lichens are then replaced by another one type of lichens like as a foliose type of lichens. When on the bare rock, some of the particles, soil particles are formed. The type of place is not suitable for the crustal lichens. Due to this reason, the crustal lichens dead and decaying and turned as organic matter and mixed with the small particles of rocks. Due to this reason, this type of in this stage, another one type of lichens are occupied. This type of place, this type of is called as foliose lichens. So next stage is the second one stage is the foliose lichen stage. And another sometime a fruitical lichens also growing in this stage. Due to this reason, this type of is called as foliose and fruticose lichen stage also. So they appear on the substratum partially built up by the crustose lichens. Foliolichen species such as Parmelia and Dermatocarpon, this type of species begin to grow there. Foliolichen have delicate, large leaf-like thallus which cover the rocks and overshadow the pre-existing crustose lichen and cause their gradual death and decay. In this way, more and more humus accumulates. Foliolichens can absorb and retain more water and also to accumulate dust particles which helps in the further build of the substratum. So they make the soil acidic. When the soil is acidic, the weather of rocks and its mixing with the humus results into the development of fine thin soil layer on the rock surface which consists of rocks particles, remains of lichens, dust particles and moisture. Thus there is the change in the habitat. When in the habitat change and some of the moisture is formed with the dust particles. Due to this reason, the space is not suitable for the folio lichens. When in the habitat changes comes, another one stage is occupied the type of places. So the next stage is the mass stage. The development of thin soil layer on rock surface, especially in the services favors the growth of some xerophytic mosses as species of like as a polytrichum, torula and grimmia. Xerophytic mosses grow and become dominant. These plants usually grow in the surfaces and the depressions of the rocks. So the xerophytic mosses develop rhizoids which penetrate deep into the rocky soil, secretes acids and corrode the rocks. They cover the previous lichens and successfully compete with them for the water and mineral nutrients. The decaying outer parts of mosses form a thick mat over the rock surface. As the mat becomes more thick, increase the water holding capacity of soil. Mosses are rich in organic and inorganic compounds. Due to their death and decaying, they add organic and inorganic matter in the soil and increasing the fertility of the soil. So the thickness of the soil layer is now increased. When the thickness of soil layer is increased, another one stage is occupies at the place. Next stage is the Heb stage. Due to the extensive growth of masses, more soil accumulates. The more mineral are added it due to the leaching out from the overlying vegetation. This changed habitat favors the growth of some herbaceous weeds, which are chiefly and annuals, being followed the some biennial and perennial. Due to their growth and death, there is much more accumulation of humus in the soil together with the further weathering of rocks. Thus, the habitat changes with decreasing xeric conditions. Some type of xerophytes rooted grasses, such as like growing on the this type of in the herb stage, like as Aristia, Fistuca, and Pova. This type of species are growing, begin in habitats. When this type of which in turns and replaced by the shrubs. So when the in the habitat changes, another one stage is occupied. That one stage is called as shrub stage. Due to much accumulation of soil, the habitat becomes suitable for the shrub, which starts migrating in the area. These are the species of Phytocarpus and rose. They overshadow the herbaceous vegetation. The soil is further enriched by this dense shrub by growth. Shrubs are larger and their roots reached greater depth, causing further cracks in the rock substratum. The process of soil formation continues. These in turn are finally replaced by the trees which make up the climax community. So next the last stage is the forest or climax stage and also called as a tree stage. In this xerophyte, some of the xerophyte trees species invade the area, further weathering of rocks and increasing the humus content of the soil, favor of the arrival of more trees and vegetation finally becomes mesophytic. Thus thus develop finally forest community. This forest community is the climax stage for this region. The climax community is controlled by climate of an area and is known as climatic climax. This is the Xerosere. Okay, thank you.